Okay, so Gamers Nation has finally been terminated, and I'm actually kind of late to the subject because I literally never check my comment section, but oh well. I have been suffering from the lack of drama in my little section of the art community, but I feel like this is a good thing to be able to talk about. As for the rest of the video, I was watching Nani's video to glean a little more information about the situation, and turns out our good pal Gamers Nation actually reached out to her in the Twitter DMs. Even though I unfortunately didn't get one myself, I feel like it'd be useful to add my own 2 cents on the messages he sent to her. Now, for starters, I didn't watch the part where she responded to him purely because I wanted to make my own points. Without further ado, let's just get the show on the road.
Hi, Herbert.
So for those of you who have not caught up on the drama, came into the situation late, or are just simply unaware, this is basically what happened. There was a channel by the name of Gamers Nation who made extremely clickbaited content aimed mostly for children, and was consistently advertising his videos as 13+, even though the thumbnails are basically just softcore porn. Most of his stories revolved around extremely poorly researched topics like incest, Crohn's disease for some reason, and also an 9-year-old that looked like a full-ass drill sergeant who got coronavirus. Also, the Crohn's disease series was baited to look like some teenager who was constantly beating off, implied because she had Crohn's, but if you actually did like a millisecond of googling, you could see that Crohn's disease is a fucking bowel condition that can be fatal and causes a slew of digestive related issues, one of them being diarrhea, which is literally the most unsexy condition ever, so I have no idea why he thought that was a good disease to clickbait, but whatever, because he was pulling in quite a lot of children with his content and he knew that. He interacted with his comment section quite a bit, which included a lot of comments stating ages between 8 and 11. He seemed to enjoy clickbaiting deplorable sexual situations and sensitive current events, and for his own sake, I'm fucking glad he was off before the whole protest started, because you know that man would have made a fucking gotcha video out of that. Overall, his entire channel was pretty much every stereotype of the gotcha community you could think of, smashed into one cesspool of a YouTube channel that for some reason amassed not only 100k subscribers, but a checkmark and a play button. It's practically an affront against God that this man somehow managed to get all of that with the content he made, and I legitimately haven't got the faintest clue how that managed to go about, but something's telling me that the system for it was purely automated because his channel has been terminated. Not deleted by his own hand, YouTube took it down, which is fucking astounding because by the time they kicked him to the curb, he had been milking the gotcha community like a goddamn cash cow and had also received a literal physical award for this. His channel, if anything, serves as proof of how shitty YouTube systems truly are, but it's not like that's a surprise to anyone at this point. Anyways, once he was terminated, he sent a message to a larger YouTuber known as Nani, and the messages he sent contained some really bad points, as we'll get into now.
Fuck!
Alright, so the conversation between him and Nani goes as follows. Hey, it's Gamers Nation. I don't normally reach out to people who make hate comments, but your video is messing a lot of facts. You should really watch the video itself because what you are saying and what my videos actually are is an entire different case. My videos doesn't include no nudity, no sexual content, and if they did, I wouldn't have been verified on YouTube, and you should have known that already. Okay, so we are already starting off horribly with him saying that Nani makes quote-unquote hate comments when her entire video was not hateful at all and was pure critique and nothing more. So while we already know this dude has no idea how to handle criticism, which is not surprising, he also goes on to claim that Nani's video was messing a lot of facts, and suggests that she rewatch her own video. He says his videos don't contain any nudity, which from what I got is true, and that they didn't include any sexual content, which is not true. He did a whole video reacting to a goddamn gotcha sex tape without any censors. Also, he claims that just because his channel was verified means that his content didn't break any TOS, which is, you know, a lie, because if we mosey on over to the handy-dandy Vegas fuck YouTube community guidelines, there's a whole section about custom thumbnails on YouTube. Here, the main 3 bullet points, which are surprisingly clean-cut, state that you cannot create thumbnails that A, include pornographic images, B, violent imagery contained to shock and disgust, and C, cannot mislead viewers into thinking that they're going to watch something that's not in the video, in other words, misleading metadata, or in other words, clickbait. If you have seen Gamers Nation's past thumbnails, it's very obvious that pornographic images were present and plentiful in his thumbnails, and he admits to clickbaiting them, so that's 2 out of the 3 established thumbnail guidelines he broke. Multiple violations of this rule can get your channel terminated, and that's probably what has happened here. There are 6 total messages he sends, and the second of which goes as follows. Anyways, I'm not arguing, but I do take days to make a single gotcha movie. It's not that easy when you try to make a good quality content, and as hard as it is to admit this, but your video did affect my channel and my Instagram. I've been getting people telling me to kill myself on Insta and dislikes that I've never gotten before, so please, before making something like that, understand the impact your video can do to others. So he goes on here saying that it takes days to make a single gotcha video and that Nani's video severely impacted the amount of negative feedback he got. Now, does he deserve the death threats and that nasty-ass harassment? No, of course not, but his content does deserve to be ridiculed in a non-personal way. I'm really surprised surprised that he's shocked that people don't like his gross-ass content, but the man clickbaited incest for 13-year-olds, and he's surprised that people are mad at him for that. Also, the fact that he spends days on his content is a shit point because it proves literally nothing. Hard work doesn't always yield good content, and it's the other way around too. Effort and time are frankly irrelevant points when critiquing works because while it's admirable to work hard on something you're passionate about, it can still look awful. At the end of the day, it's talent, not effort or hours put in, that determine the quality of the finished product, and I'm not sure if that was supposed to be like an actual point or just like a sympathy poll, but either way it's not working. Boo-hoo, you spent 3 days clickbaiting a 3-minute gotcha incest video that nobody liked. I'm so sorry for you. Anyways, Nani never sent her fans after you maliciously or told them to attack and harass you. She's literally nice to a near fault, and it's ridiculous that you're trying to paint it that way. Anyways, third message. I do agree with you if I was targeting 13-year-olds, but according to my statistics, 50% of my audience are over the age of 18 and only 16% are 13 and above. Okay, so that doesn't even add up to 100, it's 66%. Yeah, where'd the rest of that go? Because 66 is obviously not 100%, and you're only addressing 13 and above, as well as over 18. What about the people that aren't 13? They're below that age. But anyways, the second kind of message here says, anyways, thank you for explaining that videos aren't sexual, it's just some people who take it to the extreme with death threats and spam reports. Okay, so he says he's not targeting 13-year-olds, but it's kind of hard to argue that when you literally slap that number in the title and know most of your fans are probably underage, and you really are not doing yourself any favors by doing that. I know English probably isn't this guy's first language, but in the future the phrase targeting 13-year-olds has way worse connotations than what you were doing. But anyways, as for the statistics, do you really think that people won't lie about their age when creating an account? That's literally the most standard thing ever to do when you're a child making an account, especially if you plan to use that account to look at gotcha smut. While his videos themselves weren't always sexual, his thumbnails were, and that was the main problem at least I had with him, other than the general lack of quality and self-awareness. The fourth message is kind of where things fall apart, so here we go. Kind of disagree with the first two things. First, I'm not making content for kids, and I'm not doing content for kids because I don't want to break the new COPPA guidelines, so my videos include little swearing and adultish to comply with the law, which says you can use a game which is for kids and adults, but what will matter is the context you're using in your video, not the game itself. So that makes me not targeting kids because I won't want to target kids in the first place. It's kind of dumb to say that you didn't make content for kids when you consistently put 13 plus in the titles and thumbnail and routinely hearted and replied to commenters you knew were children, so it's not outlandish to assume that you're well aware of what your audience's general age was. He tries to explain that his target audience was the adult side of the gotcha community, but disregards Looney's wishes to not have anything explicit made and posted online within the game, and he was breaking YouTube's own TOS as well. Adult-specific content on YouTube is not straight clickbait porn that belongs on other sites. On YouTube, general adult audiences are more on par with heavy news topics and current events. The rest is a mixed bag where both teens and adults can enjoy the content provided to them, but the children watching Gamer Nations were not teens, and a lot of them still had single-digit ages. Also, the age range of gotcha itself is mostly children, especially on the YouTube scene, so another moot point there. The fifth message is similar explanation with Gamer Nation saying, second thing, and I'm not saying it's a lot about money, but you take time of your life and you expect something in return, yet if I made my content as 18 plus, which won't be fair and won't make sense, but if I did that, will make my videos unmonetizable, and you probably know that already. So please believe me when I say I tried literally everything, and what I ended up with is bold vocal warning at the start of the video, a warning in the title, and another one in the thumbnail. You took time out of your life to make clickbait gotcha smut. It's nothing to whine about. Stop trying to play the pity card, at least that's how I see it. Also, he claims making his content 18 plus wouldn't be fair, and how? You're not being unfair to anyone by marking content as it should be labeled. You're doing the basic requirements of being a content creator. If you want ad rev so badly, either go somewhere where sexual content can be monetized or switch your content around. Also, you clearly didn't try everything because I can still name several things that would have made you at least semi-redeemable in this situation. You could have stopped putting blatant sexual content in your thumbnails and purely focused your content on more romantic aspects of relationship, and after you took those steps, you could have made a standalone video where you, without a shadow of a doubt, clean-cut say your content is not for children, and that if you are younger than 13, you should unsubscribe. See, I'm using 13 as the age here because that's one COPPA's base age, and I'm also operating the situation under the assumption that by the time you made this hypothetical video, your channel has been morally acceptable and has followed the very simple instructions that I detailed earlier for a little bit. You can't always control your audience, but you can at least cover your own ass and say that you tried to do the right thing by telling the youngins to go away. I don't doubt that most will not listen to you, but it's just better than not taking any initiative. Finally, the last message I have to read goes a little something like this. Yeah, I'm fine with moving the 13 plus thingy, probably shouldn't even be saying this, but I literally got a false strike second day you uploaded your video on the reaction video, which didn't even have a sexual thumbnail, but hopefully that strike will clear after the appeal. I wanted to tell you this to make you understand that some people really take the hate serious, that they do even report videos that don't have anything to do with sexual stuff, etc. So he says his channel was falsely striked 2 days after Nani's video. He did not specify which flavor of strike, if it was a community guidelines or copyright, but I'm leaning towards it being community guidelines because if it was copyright, then he probably would have mentioned that specifically. The video I'm pretty sure he's talking about is the one where he reacts to the Gotcha sex tape, which is obviously a deserved strike because you can't just react to straight porn on YouTube. That's just not a thing, and even if it was cartoon, I don't think it had any real nudity in it, but sexually explicit content is something you can't report a video on, not only just for nudity, strictly. Your videos broke YouTube's terms of service, so it's dumb as hell to whine about all the reports you got because they were 100% deserved. I was going to say something about some videos being falsely reported, but let's be real, the last video that didn't break the rules was so far buried under this slew of weird-ass shit that nobody even bothered to scroll down that far probably, and instead went for the ones that were more recent. And all the recent ones at the time of me recalling were very clickbaity and did break YouTube's custom thumbnail policies. And maybe there were some videos that were falsely reported, but those should have been fine, and if they were struck, then that's on YouTube. But the reaction video that I feel like you're talking about was, you know, breaking terms of service. Alright, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I appreciate you, and I hope you're staying safe out there and having a nice day. I'm sorry I've been a little dead for a while. I've kind of hit a content dry spot, but I'll try and keep up with the uploads in the future. If you have any suggestions of situations or topic you'd like me to cover, be sure to drop those under my social media pages, all of which are in the description, and if you like this video, be sure to subscribe because I make a lot more like it. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!